Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. As you can see, we are here at our maneuver node for our Ares Explorer. Hard to believe it's been already a month since we launched this little guy. Our burn's in 45 seconds, so we've got a little time. We're probably going to do this just on the back of our RCS. So forgive me if I start it just a little bit early, or maybe not early, but in earnest. With our RCS, rotation mode. Let's just get it lined up and then stand on that pedal. Again, staying lined up with the node is just a little difficult. And we've got some new science experiments on this thing that have never been in the vacuum of space before. Oh, cool. And we're still getting a net positive charge, even though our angle is not optimal. Alright, it'll be 30 some odd seconds before our signal to run our science experiments actually works, which will probably be well after this burn has been completed. There's Mercury. There's a contract available to do a flyby of Mercury, and Jupiter is way out of range. Earth, that's where we came from. Saturn, way beyond us. So, trying to find our desk, Grandpa. Mars, there he is. So I guess the only one we haven't seen on here is, that would be visible, as Venus. Way out there is Uranus. Alright, pay attention. Okay. Micrometeorite detector, we already got that one. Magnetometer scan, we'll send that home. Radioplasma, we'll send that home. Orbital telescope, send that one home. That's good for 12 science. Telemetry, we've already gotten. Temperature scan, we've already gotten. Geiger counter, we've already gotten. Micrometeorite, we have 2 of them. And gravity scan, pressure scan. Oop, not paying attention to our heading. Going blindly off course. Alright. We have so much RCS, it's barely funny. I mean, yeah, 261 liters still remaining on the spacecraft. We can ullage for days. Days, I tell you. Alright. And at this distance, 0.7 meters per second does make a difference. Alright, come on. Let's play whack-a-mole, whack-a-node, whack-a-mole. That too. Click, click, click. 0.3. Okay, let's kill that node and see where we stand. We still have an encounter, that's good. Focus. How good of an encounter is it? Really? It's a collision course. Ooh, alright, let's turn our CS off. It's going to take 30 seconds for that signal to get there. But, that's a pretty good course, all things considered. I'll take it. So we're going to just leave this little guy alone for a while. Why did I turn RCS and stuff off? What if I can't turn it back on? Well, if I can't turn it back on, we're going to fail the contract anyway. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So you know what? Time work to make it all the things just calm the hell down. Yeah, you know, that's not bad. Whoa. Okay. I swear I was rolling the mouse wheel in the other direction. That's pretty good. Oh yes, we'll take that for sure. So let's pull out Kerbal Alarm Clock. Add an alarm for our next maneuver in 142 days. This is by far the most successful thing we've ever thrown into interplanetary travel ever. And most of the things we've flown in interplanetary space were completely on accident, thanks to a gravity assist by the moon. And now back at the Space Center, we have our first Zenith Blue 5 on Omega 1A. That will be done in 7 days. So we're going to warp to complete and then just go ahead and roll that out and put it in orbit. Alright, Zab. Oh, that thing any of these Zenith Blue 4s I totally don't need anymore. So let's pick the 5s up to the top of the list. That was a spare that I built. We have to edit that. I only have one more 5. Yeah, the one I just finished was a 5. Totally don't need these 4s, so we're going to scrap them and get our money back. Not a whole lot, but it's something. 4 scrap, yes, and duplicate. We're going to need at least 2 more of these, certainly. Oh, cool. And from all of our spare parts from our 2 scrapped rockets, the build time on those went down by just a bit. That's nice. Alright. And anyway, oh, wait. Derp, derp, roll it out. Actually, I probably didn't need to duplicate that because we're about to upgrade the Omega 1A, because in, oh God, what is it, 6 days, we're going to unlock early Hydrolox engines. That's super exciting. Anyway, let's warp to this. You like that time warp to time warp? Alright. Here's another one for you. We're going to let Bob is going to make his very first flight ever, because he's not going anywhere special. We're taking this thing to orbit and we're going to test out its longevity and make sure that it can operate for the full 14 days, 14 to 20 days or so that it will take to do a moon, not only flyby, but hopefully orbit. That's all this spacecraft is really capable of doing until we get a next-gen launcher, hopefully thanks to early Hydrolox. Then we probably won't be going for a crewed lunar landing just yet. But, like I said, new upgrades are in the works. Next episode could be a build-a-sode. Alright. Wow, Kerbal alarm clock, you are all up in my shit. And here we are out on the pad with this very familiar vehicle, and Bob at the helm for the first time ever. You lucky dog, you. Alright, throttle is pegged, SAS is set, ignition sequence start. Ignition is good. Release the... Oh, insufficient avionics. Is that always a problem? Did I just totally miss that this entire time? Is this my first flight of the 5? Like the first actual one? Oops. Well, I guess it is. Because I just built it and I ran a simulation, right? Am I... what? I might be dumb. Bob, I might have just doomed you. Because, man, when I launched one of these with that Ares probe, it, angle was all out of whack. Alright, unlocking controls. Thank goodness. And Bob is certainly way off target for the angle I would like him to be at. But he is really cooking. 2G's acceleration off the pad already. I should probably have flight-proofed this, watching the G-meter. I don't think anything's going to be lethal, but an engine shutdown on at least the center engine may have spared him some of this oomphiness. But Bob is more just a passenger here as a scientist he doesn't really know how to fly things, and it's a good thing the only part where he won't have a computerized core attached to his spacecraft is on final descent, when there really isn't much for him to do. The rest of it will be up to the avionics cores contained within the rocket, and lucky for him, they're pretty good at what they do, providing they have enough power to do it. But if he runs out of electric charge, he's kind of dead anyway, so then there's that. Now, Bob's only objective here is to get into a fairly reasonable Earth orbit. We're going to shoot for around 1 million circularized kilometers, or 1 million meters, I guess it'd be 1,000 kilometers. And just park it and make sure that this that our TAC life support calculations here are correct, and that he can in fact survive for, we're going to shoot for 21 days. That should be well longer than any lunar mission should take, including a landing. But you know, it really never hurts to check. We do need to field proof this thing, and I would much rather have to make an emergency return from low Earth orbit than trying to get somebody back from the moon with realization that, oh crap, we're out of life support. Oh man, those G's are really building. 8 G's. Yeah, we should... 8.5 G's. Second stage ignition is good, and he is off. His apogee is already nearing 300 kilometers. And go ahead and ditch that launch tower. We should adjust the staging for that. We could probably lose that well before our second stage set. But the good news is now we can just fire right down the horizon. I forgot to get the contract for human orbital or for spacewalking, and this would have satisfied both of them. Or wait. 3 days. Okay. Oh, hey, cool, we do have this. Orbit, and we just have to collect, we have to have our periapsis above 150 and transmit in an EVA report. I think we can do that. Alright, we are going to coast to our apoapsis before firing up this stage. We hopefully, well, I'm certain that we won't be using all of it. That would be just silly. But we are going to be ditching it once we are orbital, and then relying on the command pod stage alone. Alright. No. No. Yes. No. Oh, come on. Turn that hydrazine off. HTP off. Are these engines looking very stable? Very good. And yeah, all that adjusting I did took a little too long. So we may be going just a bit past our apogee. Not entirely worried about it. As if efficiency was something I was actually worried about on this. I have no real need to lay on these RCS thrusters at all. We'll be ditching this stage in short order. Just pushing out our apogee, and it is rising fast. Like I said before, we're going for about 1,000,000 kilometers. Where there it is, 1.03 million meters. Did I say 1,000,000 kilometers? That was, yeah, my mistake. And we will just go ahead and ditch that transfer stage once I'm in staging mode. Ditched. Which one of these tanks has our hydrazine in it? There it is. And push ourselves just a little away from that transfer stage. Toggle out our solar panels. That looks way more awkward in orbit than it does inside the VAB. And power up our antennas. What is our charge rate? Oh, cool. We are showing a net positive charge. One of our panels isn't even in the sun yet. So the other thing I wanted to do was... It says avionics unlocking controls. Oh, I bet you the battery is dead. Yep, okay. That thing's stuck in orbit. Never mind. So, we're going to zip around to our apogee. Let me just, yeah, EVA, experiment, EVA report, recovery, transmit. So, as soon as we're done circularizing, we will certainly do that. RCS is turned on. We are just in the wrong mode, as per usual. Get ourselves about faced here, facing our prograde vector. And we're going to go ahead and bring up our periapsis. Current delta V is 3486 meters per second. This ugly duckling of a spacecraft. And I guess it would be helpful if I staged in the engines, which would be helpful if I was in the correct mode. Alright. Burn is set. We are moving. Riding on the breath of those 4 Asteris engines. Those are some of my favorites because they don't have a rated burn time and they have infinite ignitions. Not particularly powerful and certainly not very good in atmosphere, but out here for this service module they do great. great things. Guys, really 27 minutes away from my apogee? Or did I just move it a bunch? Parry 938, 1553. I have lots of Delta V and not a lot of patience. And so we're going to call that close enough. And now that we've hit a nice parking orbit, Bob is going to do his thing. Take his little EVA walk that we're not going to get anything for except for a completed contract. Ooh, no. Okay. EVA report. Keep experiment. Jump back in. You're not very good at this, I'd imagine. Alright. Review stored data. Transmit. Oh, that's going to take a long time. Even with these 4 relatively high gain antennas, it takes him forever and a day to radio in. I guess he's just got a lot to say. He's describing the mood and how his toes feel and that punishing 8.5 Gs at the end of the first stage when the engineers should have thrown in something to shut down a core engine or maybe even 4 of the radial engines. But, you know, he made it. He's alive. And he's Bob, so he's relatively okay with this. Look at him. All docile and happy-ish. Alright. Does our view thing work? Earth done, contract complete. Nope, that just takes us inside, where he has but this one tiny little window. Well, Shep didn't get a tiny little window. Nope, that doesn't work. Alright, but vessel complete. Contract complete. Crude altitude record of 500 kilometers. That paid us out 8 grand. Contract complete. Crude altitude record of 1,000 kilometers. That's another 15 grand. First spacewalk, 125 grand. We'll take it. And so, yeah. The next one up is a lunar orbital. Like I said, Bob's got to sit here for 14 days and make sure that everything is going to work out great. So, I won't make you watch this for 14 days. We'll pick all of this up in the next episode. So, until then, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you next time.